Welcome back to High Life. It's been a while. See if I remember how to do this. So, I've been trying to get a hold of this gentleman for a while. Finally able to set this. Please welcome Mr. Daniel Gossard, Stoner Gump. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. And you?
Doing good. So, I was actually about a year ago. I was living not too far from you.
Okay. Where are you at?
I was in Republic, Missouri.
Okay. Yeah. Only a couple
Yeah,
hours out.
yeah. You're down near Joplin, right?
Yep. I'm in Joplin.
In Joplin, okay. So, what got you started making videos?
Make started. So I started out many moons ago, probably what 6, 7 years ago, doing parenting content. Um, I was construction dad of four. And it's not a very happy place. A lot of people get real upset when you tell them how what they're doing wrong and how they shouldn't
Mm,
do certain things. And so one day I was sitting in the Lowe's parking lot and decided to tell some jokes about a chocolate bar, and it went ultra viral, and here we are.
wow. So how was that? How was that first video when it hit? How did that
So
feel for
like
you?
it was super short. So I do a lot of long form content. I like to tell stories and whatnot. That video was probably 15 seconds. Just
Okay.
me making a couple of random jokes, and I guess I had the southern twang going, and so that's where Stoner Gump came from. Everybody, was telling me that I was the stoned version of Forrest Gump, and so yeah, it was pretty nutty. Quite the turn of events.
Yeah, it took me a while to discover you, but once I found your content, I was like, this guy is hilarious. I have one of your cookbooks. My girlfriend bought it for me for Christmas last year because I kept showing her the videos of the cookbooks, and I was like, hey,
I need this. So
yeah,
the cookbook kind of was just organic from the content. Started putting out videos trying to teach people how to get their medicine and such cheaper, and realized a lot of folks had no idea how to go about it. So started going more heavily into the cooking and informational side of things, and now I've got.
yeah. I really liked your video on the explanation between THCA and just THC because I always thought that THCA was like not as good as I
Well,
kept calling it fake weed or
right. The
weed
thing is, they're
light and
they're
stuff.
all THCA. Tetrahydrocannabinolic acid is what THCA is. When you heat it up, the A goes away. Uh,
Okay.
so even the stuff from your medical dispos and whatnot, it's also THCA until heat is applied. That's the whole decarboxylation process. That's what happens when you set it aflame. Uh, you're getting rid of the acid.
Okay. Yeah. I saw that video and I was like, wow. I had no idea. So I called one of my friends and was like, hey, I need to apologize. And he's like, why? I was like, I'm not gonna call it fake weed anymore. I will say that stuff hits different though.
Well, so it's all about the D9 amount. That's what makes something legal in the Farm Bill or not legal. That's what makes the government say it's hemp or it's marijuana. Is the
Right.
D9 level. So if it's 0.3% or less, it's hemp. If it's 0.31 or more, it's marijuana.
Hmm.
Um, so you've still got high grade flour that simply has that D9 at a lower level, and so you're able to get away with it.
Wow. So what got you into the science of it?
Uh, ADHD. Um, People asking questions, and it was either I tell people research it, or I just research it, make the videos, make the content, and learn a
Yeah.
couple of few things. So I just hyper fixated on it, and at this point, I've deep dived so many different directions. I feel like I need to start teaching classes.
You probably could.
I
You
think
could
that's
probably
kind of
do.
what I do online.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say there's that new platform school.
I don't think I've
I don't know
seen
if
that
you've
one.
seen. No? Okay. I keep keep getting ads for it, and I'm like, I don't have anything to teach people really. My other podcast, we do the history of rock and roll, but I mean,
That's fun.
it is. See, so like this is my fun podcast. I don't have to prepare anything. I just show up on camera and just have a conversation. You know,
Right.
the other podcast, it's like weeks of research, and then my buddy does the editing and everything like that. That's my work podcast.
Right.
This is like, hey, I want to have a conversation. I want to get to know someone.
So the more funsies one.
Yeah, I've actually
I'll
got.
show you
Oh, you're good. I've actually got like 5 plants growing up outside right now.
No, do you?
Yeah,
I haven't grown this year.
I planted back on Mother's Day, and I did everything wrong, and yet they're still surviving. So
it's called weed for a reason. It's a weed. It will grow.
Well,
Like
so I started
there's
out
a lot
with
of science, but
I started out with like 8 of them. I'm down to 5 that have actually survived because I put 4 of them in 2 planters in each planter, and then my cousin gave me this book, and it's literally called, oh no, what did I do with it? I lost the book, but it's the Weed Grower's Bible. That's what it's called.
no.
And I started reading into it, and I was like, oh, I need to separate those. Those are not going to survive all clumped together in one planter.
Right. They'll start stealing from each other.
Yeah. So then I had to like get more planters and like use a little shovel and separate them without damaging the roots too bad. And that was not fun.
But as long as you get plant in the end.
Yes, I have one that is just, I went over Labor Day weekend. I took a picture of them on Saturday before we left. And then when we got back Monday, I took another picture, and they just like doubled in size in a couple of days. And I'm like, holy crap. And even
nice.
like I went to check them yesterday, and like every time, so I live in a basement. So every time we walk out the back door, all you just smell is weed from my plants just sitting outside.
What strain did you grow?
You know what? I have no clue.
Just mysteries.
I ordered them off of a website, Grimm Brothers out of Colorado, and I can't remember what it was. It was so long ago now. I don't remember.
It'll be marijuana.
Exactly.
It'll get you toasty.
And also, I've learned that the new Google Gemini is actually very helpful when it comes to the growing of the marijuana also.
What is Google Gemini?
So where's my phone? There we go. So it's their new AI, and you can just take a picture of something and ask Gemini a question about it. And so I was like, I wasn't sure like what exactly I'm looking for about, when it comes time to harvest. So I was like, hey, right. Gemini, is my plant almost ready? And I took a picture of just the buds, and it was like, no, you need to wait for the small hairs to start curling, and you need to watch for your crystals to start getting cloudy. And I was like, okay, awesome.
So I assume these were all feminized seeds you were using then?
Yes, they were pre-feminized. So
that makes it a lot simpler.
Yeah.
The last time I grew, I let a male plant go too long, and then it just ruined every other plant.
Oh, yeah. Yep. It'll turn everything male.
Yeah. Now I have seeds out the yin yang.
My cousin had his medical card in Illinois and was growing his own for a while, had a whole operation going. And so he's like, do you want some seeds? And I was like, sure. He goes, I don't know what they are, or they're male, female. He goes, he pulls up this whole bottle. He goes, I was, had to, get my own seeds.
Right.
So here's put like 30 or 40 into a little bag for me. And it was like, here you go. Here's some seeds for you. So I've got seeds for next year. I don't know if they'll be male.
There you go.
But
as long as you watch them, watch for the hairs versus the balls.
Yeah. I said next year I'm only going to do like 1 or 2. I'm not going to start with 8 of them. And
right.
And because I've got this one plant that is just ginormous, and the nugs on it are like this big already. And I'm just like, that plant alone is going to give me like an ounce.
You'll have plenty to partake in then.
I will, and I'm going to start cooking with it because as I learned, if you do the dry trimming, you can use it for cooking.
Talking about like taking your trimmings and cooking with them.
Yeah.
Right. So you're going to need a lot more of them to get to the potency you're wanting. But yeah, there's no reason to waste them.
Well, yeah, I've got 5 plants, so I'll have plenty
Right.
of
You'll have
stuff
plenty.
to play with. Yeah. And then I found out that I used too much bat guano in one of my plants because it's a much darker green, and I couldn't figure out why it was so much darker than the rest of the plants. And so I used Google Gemini. I was like, why is this plant so much darker than the rest of my plants? And it said that there was an excess of nitrogen.
Ah.
And I was like, oh, I put too much guano in that one.
Yeah, it's a learning process.
It is.
I'm not good at
It
the
is.
growing side of things. I just wing it every time I grow.
Yeah. I used to work at a gas station nearby, and I had a regular that grew his own stuff. And he'd come in one day and he goes, "Do you smoke?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Because I've got stuff that I grow on my own, but I've got too much. I don't smoke enough to
get rid of the product."
to get rid of it." And he's like, "I don't want it going bad." And I was like, "Okay." So he comes in and slides me this pack of cigarettes. He goes, "Hey, you dropped this outside." And I was like, "That's more suspicious than just handing me weed, dude." My boss is looking at the camera going, "Steve doesn't smoke cigarettes." What?
They were my girlfriends.
This stuff was the smell was so strong. I put it in my backpack in the back hallway, and they smelled it all the way down to the kitchen. They're like, "That has to go outside." Like, dude. And I was like, I didn't know.
Right.
That's his good. His stuff was so good, and he would shove like almost a quarter into these cigarette packs, and I'd be like, "Do you want anything for it?" No, just take it. I'm not gonna argue.
I was working at a factory years ago before it became legal in Missouri, and a buddy of mine said, "Hey, my dad's got a farm out in Galena, Kansas." He said, "So you want some trimmings?" So, we get all the big stuff off there, but it's still got stuff on it. I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll come by and grab some trimmings." And so I'm thinking like I'm getting a Ziploc bag or something. And I show up to his house and he's got a 50-pound dog food bag completely full.
Holy
And so
crap.
then I'm driving through Kansas and Missouri with this 50-pound bag just freaking out. And then I had to figure out how to dispose of it once I got rid of everything because, like I said, it wasn't legal. This would have ended me in the big house for quite some
Yeah.
time.
Oh yeah.
And wasn't what I had expected, but it caused some anxiety.
That's when people are like, "Man, I can't do weed. It just makes me anxious." And I'm like, "Why are you anxious? What's there to be anxious about?" My sister, she can't do gummies. She can take some hits, but she can't do the gummies. When she does the gummies, she starts getting paranoid.
Well, when you're taking things via eatable products, it's a lot stronger the way your body
Right.
processes it, and so that makes. I mean, that's the same for a lot of folks. I mean, I can sit outside and I can, just plow through my masterpieces, just one after the other, just chain smoking them, never have an issue. But if I do the same thing with eatable products, eventually I might have some issues. All of a sudden, I'm
Yeah.
scared and I don't know why.
I had my other sister. She was like, "Hey, I've got some gummies. They're too strong for me. Do you want them?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." And I was like, "I'm gonna laugh if these are like 10 milligrams," and she's saying they're too strong for her. So she gets to my house and she hands me the bag, and I look at it and I go, "Sis, do you know how to read?" She goes, "What?" I said, "They say high potency." I said, "They're 35 milligrams a piece. Is that a lot?" It says high potency. Like,
It's a lot for a lot of people.
I'm like, geez. I was like, I'll eat
I
one
would
of these and I'll be good for a while, but
right. It's all about how your body processes and your tolerance. My wife she's very content with 3 to 5 milligrams max, and she's got a huge grin on her face, having a great time. She has 10 milligrams. She's upset and in the shower trying to rethink
oh
life
no.
choices. Uh, whereas me, like 20-25 is what I stand, like the standard amount I'm popping. And then I've got like a buddy of mine. He doesn't feel it until he's had 2,000 milligrams.
I
So
know those
it's,
people are crazy to me.
yep.
I knew a guy that he could, if he had an edible, it wouldn't do anything unless he smoked along with it. He's like, if I just eat an edible, it doesn't affect me. He goes, but if I eat an edible and then I smoke a bowl, he's like, then it'll kick in. And I'm like, weird. He's like,
I think that's more of a
I don't know.
placebo. I think he's just getting toasty off the
Probably.
smoke. Like if you don't have the enzymes to process the eatable, smoking is not going to make you all of a sudden have those enzymes to process it.
I mean, it probably is, but I'm just like the people that are like, oh, I can eat like 2,000 milligrams and it doesn't do anything to me. And I'm just like, that sounds like a bad time to me. I ate 100 milligram gummy, went to a Halloween party. So I was on my way to the party and I had this 100 milligram pearl. And I was like, I need to eat this thing. I was like, I'll just go ahead and eat it on the way to the party. And I'll just wait it out at the party.
Right.
So I'm munching on this giant gummy all the way to the party. And by the time I get there, it kicks in. And I get greeted by a werewolf in a muumuu. He's like, are you looking for a place to park? And I'm like, don't eat me. He's like, you park anywhere over there. I'm like, uh-huh. The world went black and white. The world looked like a 1950s television show. Like, I kept going in and out of consciousness. I was like, I think I ate too much. And then they're passing around a joint. They're passing around a joint. And I'm like, they're like, hey, you want some? I'm like,
I'm good.
They're like, do you want to like go inside? Like, we're all sitting outside this in the smoking shack. Like, do you want to go in the main building? And I was like, I don't think my legs work anymore.
I don't know what feet to put my foot on.
Right. I slept at that table until about 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I was like, okay, everybody's gone. I need to go home.
You waited it out long enough.
That's like, I have to make my way home somehow. My girlfriend, though, when she'll eat, first time she ate a 10 milligram gummy, it was one of those dosed gummies. She giggled for 3.5 hours straight. Just could not stop.
What's a good time? That's therapeutic.
She's like, am I being annoying? I was like, no, you're cracking me up. Because you just, every little thing I said, just hilarious. And I was like, okay.
You got to be a good trip setter.
Oh, yeah.
So when me and the wife first got together, she didn't partake at all. I did. And so she would always fuck with me. Like, I'd get stoned and then she'd come to me and start going like this, putting her hand real close to my face. And so the first time she ever got stoned, I did the same thing to her. She goes, oh, no, now I know why you don't like it. I said, yeah, we're going to stop that, right?
So, so when I was down in Republic, I kept saying, I was like, for Easter, I'm smoking a brisket. I'm going to be back up in the St. Louis area by then, and I was like, I'm smoking a brisket for Easter. And then I started looking up the dates for Easter. And I was like, oh, Easter's on 420. And then they announced that WrestleMania was that weekend. And I was like, oh, even better. And then my best friend's birthday is the 21st. So we always celebrate his birthday on 420.
Right.
And so I was like, man, all this just coming together. I was like, smoking a brisket is perfect. So he gets to my house. He brings goodies. So we're partaking in gummies, those mushroom gummies. We're smoking. Like, we're just on all sorts of things. And at the same time, I'm trying to stay focused enough to make sure my brisket gets cooked. I smoked that thing for 18 hours overnight in a thunderstorm. And at one point, the fire went out because I fell asleep. So it was still warm, but it wasn't hot enough to keep cooking.
Right.
I was like, oh, crap. So I'm like throwing more coals in. And then every time I try to get my lighter in close enough to relight it, the wind would blow it out. I was freaking out. I was like, I'm not losing this thing. I was like, doctor, we got a problem. So I found this tarp, threw it over the smoker, got the flame going again. And then I just sat there for a little bit and the smoke started building up under the tarp. And I was like, oh, I need oxygen or I'm going to die.
Yep. You can't live in the smoke.
Wrong kind of smoke.
I always thought about a smoke. Like, I don't know. If you had enough fat bubbling and whatnot, if you took and added in some bud to your your smoker if you'd actually accomplish anything or just waste it. I've always just gone the route of making like barbecue sauce or something.
Probably do the barbecue sauce because I mean, I smoked mine around 300 degrees for 18 hours. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty
you
sure it
probably
just,
get something, but not much. You'd just be wasting a lot.
yeah.
And it'd probably give it
That's,
a funky flavor too.
oh, I'm sure. Barbecue sauce, you'd be at least be able to add enough to cover up any funky taste.
Right, yeah, I've made the barbecue sauce quite a few times, and there's so much
Okay.
in barbecue sauce that you don't taste the bud at all.
Right. Yeah, I was actually going to invest in one of those Levo machines. Have you seen those?
Yeah, so I've got a Levo, I've got a magic butter machine, I've got quite a few different toys. I don't use them in videos though because I want to make sure it's accessible to everybody. And if I
Right. Yeah.
start just using
I wasn't
those,
sure.
then well,
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you even had those or if you were more of a pure, one of those purists that's like, oh, I make everything myself.
right, they're nice, they're really handy. But there's a reason I've used a barbecue grill. We've used a crock pot. We've used the air fryer. I try to make sure that no matter what you've got, I've shown you how you can go ahead and utilize it to make your product. If I start
Okay.
throwing out, well, you need this $300 piece of equipment, I exclude
Right.
a lot of people.
The first time I made my own stuff, I made Fruity Pebble treats. And
Those are good.
I didn't have the know-how or enough stuff to make my own butter or anything. So I just went to the dispensary and I bought a little thing of RSO
Just added
and I
that in.
shot that in there. That was too much.
Yeah, yeah. It works. So you can use like RSO. You can use your oils and waxes and stuff, and put it into like Everclear, high potency alcohol, to dilute it throughout the alcohol, and then you can take that alcohol, turn it into sugar. So that's what I'll do when I've got an excess of stuff for the dab setup or RSO or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, I didn't do any of that. I just squirted the RSO straight into
Right on in.
yeah, and just
That'll
stirred it
get you
up.
there.
My sister calls me. She said, "Hey, we're going on a diet. I need you to come get all these marshmallows and fruity pebbles." And I was like, "What am I going to do with this?" And I'm looking at it in my hands. I go, "Oh, I can make edibles." She goes, "Of course you'd think that." Like, what else is I
As one
supposed to do with
does.
this? Like, come on, yeah. So, what is your favorite piece that you have to smoke out of? Do you have a favorite piece?
Um, I got the Harry Potter wand. That's kind of a fun one for the
I
pen.
saw that. Where did you find that at?
I found it at a Two Chicks in a Head shop in Springfield. I'm sure you can get it
Okay.
offline, but
Okay.
and
I
then
saw
I've
that
got
on your latest video and I was like, that is
it's handy.
awesome. It
Yeah.
is.
I've got Gandalf's pipe. That's probably my favorite pipe because it's just a big long one. It's got a
Mhm.
giant bowl in it, so you can put a good almost an eighth in there, and you just puff away at it.
I've got a glass one like that in
That's
my
that's my
cabinet.
favorite. Big old pipes. It makes you feel
Mhm.
fancy.
It does. I picked mine up in Alton, Illinois, and I was like, I pointed at it and I was like, I want that one. And my girlfriend looks at me and goes, "The hell you need that for?" And I'm like,
Big Tiefin.
like, why
That's
not?
that's
Come on now.
yeah. I've got all kinds of pipes. Every time I go to Hippie Fest, the wife gets tired of it, but I've got wood pieces, glass pieces, metal pieces, clay pieces, all the pieces. Um,
All the pieces.
they're fun. I don't know.
They
I enjoy them.
yeah. So when you when your stoner gump stuff started hitting, how
Uh-huh.
how did that what went through your brain when you were like, holy crap, I can actually like do something with this?
So it started moving pretty good, but it wasn't really until about October of that year I started doing the F Around and Find Out series. Um, and when I started doing those, there was about a month's time there that I believe it was the 46th fastest growing TikTok account out of the 1 billion accounts. Um, and so that's when I thought, maybe this is actually going somewhere because I was going up. Oh, depending on the videos put out that day, I was going up, 15, 20,000 followers a day. Um, and so the
Wow.
growth was nuts.
Yeah. So
And now,
when you started making making, I'm sure it wasn't much, but when you started making money with it, were you
So
like,
it was weird, but it was definitely so I did full time construction work for about the first, well, really until about the middle of last year. Um, so I was doing the
I
content
loved
creation.
your videos of the houses. And you were
Well, I
like,
still do those.
don't open the fridge. Resist the urge. Never open the fridge.
There's been so many times that we go into a house with like a new employee or something, and we're going through it, and they just go over, open up the fridge, and then you got somebody outside on the lawn throwing up. Like, dude, why?
What about the rest of this house makes you think anything in there is good?
Right. The power's been off for a little while now. That's going to be right. It was rough before the power went off.
Right. Oh man.
So yeah, I still do the walkthroughs. My dad owns the construction company, and so anytime
Okay.
he's got a bad one, I'll go over and I'll go do the bid for him, just so I've got the opportunity to do a walkthrough because I have fun with them. They're gross, but I enjoy doing the walkthroughs.
Your commentary is just great though.
You let the ADHD take over as you're walking through is what you do.
Yes. Especially when there's mice or something. You're like, oh, this home is already already lived in.
Occupied.
Yeah, occupied.
But yeah, I don't do much of that anymore. Wifey still does it. In fact, she's at a house painting the house right now.
Oh, nice.
So she still does it.
So what? So you've got chronically bemused and
Herbally
with
infused and chronically amused, the first one,
there we go.
and then we've got the
Yes,
masterpiece, which the first one I made when I was a construction worker.
I have the first
And
one.
right, so it shows it's got all the basic information in there, but then the next one I knew what I was doing. So the next one's full color. It's got 69 additional recipes. It's got tons more information from how to roll a masterpiece to um, the history of cannabis. So there's definitely a difference between the two of them, but I keep the old one out still because it's cheaper production cost for me. Meaning I can keep it at a lower price, make it more accessible.
Okay, I think she ordered it off of Amazon, and I was hoping
Hmm.
she'd order it off a TikTok shop so I could get one signed. But
Yeah, I can't sign them from the Amazon.
no, that's all right.
Yeah.
I had questions, and like I said, like this is just
Well,
this show is just conversation. So what new things do you have coming up? Anything?
so we're currently working on a munchie cookbook because we're trying to figure out how to utilize um, both the non-infused recipes I do and the random bits of poetry I put out, and so we're making um, like a munchies poetry book. So there'll be a poem in between each of the recipes. Just a fun read with really unhealthy food.
Okay, that sounds cool.
We
I
got other than that, just product lines coming out. But those are a little bit harder to sell on like the TikTok shop.
do you have merch you're gonna do like
Yes.
shirts
So
or anything?
we're
Okay.
we're working on. So I'm not wearing the hat today, but the Forrest Gump hat with the Bubba Gump shrimp. We're redoing that and making it into a play off of that theme with so instead
Hmm.
of Bubba Gump Shrimp Co, it'll be Stoner Gump Canico, and then we're working on the little mascot to put in between it.
Okay. Yeah, I launched a merch store. I need to put more out there than just my logo, but uh yeah, a great website I used is Fourth Wall. So
Fourth Wall. I haven't
yes.
heard of it. What is it?
So it not only is a merch store, but you can link uh all of your socials to it. So like your YouTube, your TikTok, your Facebook, all of that, you can link it all to that. Share a video there and it'll disperse it for you.
Oh,
It will try to put your merch onto TikTok shop if TikTok shop will allow it. Otherwise, it'll give you a link for a store. It also allows you to create a website.
it's
Gives you all
just
the tools to build your own website.
FOURTH.
Yes. Yeah, they actually reached out to me. It was like, hey, we want you to sell on our website. And I was like, I don't know why. I have 2,000 followers. But
Now here you
they kept
are.
reaching out to me, and I checked in with a buddy of mine on TikTok. I don't know if you've heard of him, Ronan GT.
Is he a fluffy feller?
Don't forget
Yeah.
to take out your trash cans.
And he
Yeah.
does
Bigger guy,
he like
beard.
does cosplay, or a bigger guy with a
No.
beard. No, the guy I'm thinking of doesn't have a beard. He does a lot of cosplay. So maybe I don't
Okay.
know.
He did a lot of stories of loss prevention at Walmart.
Hmm.
Was a lot of his stuff.
No, I haven't seen him.
The first time I interviewed him, he had a couple 100,000 followers, and he was like, "Yeah, you know, I'll do a podcast interview." And he was sitting in his car waiting on doing Lyft. First time I talked to him, and then I've talked to him like 3 or 4 times on the podcast, and it was like he went from just a couple 100,000 followers to like over 1 million followers. So anytime I have, companies like trying to reach out to me in different weird ways and stuff, I'm like, "Hey, Ronan, is this legit?"
Is this good
So
people?
yeah, I was like, "What's this fourth wall stuff?" And he goes, "Oh, I use fourth wall," and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll trust it then."
I'll have to look into it. Anything to make the posting of the content easier, because well, editing is probably the part that takes the longest. Like when I do a cooking video, I usually have 45 minutes to an hour worth of footage that I then have to cut up into a 5 to 10 minute tops video. And
Yeah.
so I'm sitting, every day that I do a cooking video, I've got hours of editing, and that's what wears me down. I've got hours and hours from like Dragon Con, from different events over the summer, just stuff. I haven't even looked at the videos yet. I recorded them at the time.
I saw your video about Dragon Con. Nobody knew who you were, or they just didn't know whether
it wasn't nobody knew who I was. This was a press party. It was for the press and the big names, but the big names that they had there at this press party, and the reason all the press was there, was the voice actors and actresses from Baldur's Gate 3. And so they were all very excited for that. And then the lady that runs it, she had me up there. She invited me because she's a fan of mine. And so she was excited to then, after she introduced them, she introduced me. And it was just crickets. Just nothing.
Not even wifey. Not even
wifey. She's like, well, nobody else was cheering.
That means
you could have started something.
Yeah, right. Come on. I looked at my girlfriend. I showed her the video, and I said, "Listen, if I ever make it to being at an event, I was like, you'd better stand up and be the loudest person there, or I'm leaving you."
I got to bring a +1, and we had a bunch of our buddies with us. And so afterwards, I told them, and every one of them was like, "You should have brought me as the +1. I would have yelled." I should have. But that wouldn't have set very well with wifey.
No. She'd been like, "Excuse me." Y'all's relationship just cracks me up too.
It's interesting. The age difference. Like when I had my first kid, wifey was 12 years old. We didn't meet till she was 20. But when I had my first kid, she was 12. And so it's,
How old are
I
you,
served
if you don't
her.
mind me asking?
I'm 37.
37, okay.
So I'm
not far off from me.
6. I think I'm 6 years older than wifey. Which I had kids young as part of the reason she was 12. I had my first kid when I was 17. So I guess I'm 5.5 years older. But yeah, I served her first drink. It's been a wild time. Went from construction, and she used to be, when we first got together, she was a dietary manager at an old folks home. And then we moved away from that and full-time construction for both of us. And now we do this.
And when I was messaging you, I was like, "Oh, like, can we meet this day?" And you're like, "Oh, 3 days a week I'm doing, processing, packaging and stuff." And I was like, "Holy crap, like I didn't realize you did all of that yourself."
Oh yeah, I got nobody. I don't have a manager, an agent, an editor. I don't have anything. I got me, myself, and I.
And then whenever, when I was trying to get a hold of you and stuff, when I didn't get that message of, email my management group, I was like, okay, that's a big issue I run into. Like I said, I have around 2,000-ish followers on TikTok. I get a good amount of listens, less than 100, but a good amount of listens to my podcast episodes. So when I get a hold of some of these people and they're like, yeah, so it's going to be like $100 for you to talk to me. And I'm like, I don't have $100 to pay you just to have a conversation. Like, I just want to have a conversation, man. Like, I'm inviting you on here to talk about your stuff and you promote your stuff. This is like the Wish version of Joe Rogan. Okay. Like,
I like that Wish version of Joe Rogan.
We don't have a production budget here.
Same. I have blow up costumes.
You do, and I love when you smoke those out.
I got a new gun yesterday. So my old one died on me, and then the 5-gallon bubbly device I made, it's not great for all occasions. So I picked up this one. Kind of excited. I'll probably try it out today.
I need to find that 5-gallon. Oh, I love that. It's
got the bubbly thing in it. Let's see here. So the bottom of it is a grinder.
Oh,
and then it's got your bubbly device there. Your bowl's just up top. You load it up, and then you go to town.
Yeah. See, I hotboxed my bedroom a few times, and we used the air pump for an air mattress.
Right.
Made a bowl out of tinfoil.
Yep.
Lit that, turned it on, just smoked out the whole room, and just sat in here and breathed it in.
Yep, I've made them with many different air pumps and leaf blowers and whatnot, but some occasions require something small like this. And
yeah, have you ever done the one where
operate that by myself?
Yeah,
because most of the time I gotta have somebody helping me.
Switch. Yeah,
right.
Hey, someone hit the switch.
Have I ever done what?
Have you ever done or seen where they're in the pool and they put the glass or the tube around them and then fill it up?
Have you ever? I need to try something like that. I have not.
Yeah, I think that looks fun. I just feel like I would choke.
Right.
And just be like passed out in the tube and nobody could see.
Well, somebody had given me a pretty good idea. The 5-gallon jugs that I made. To like the space helmets or whatever. They said what they do is they simply put a bowl on top. They get into a pool, have it fully submerged, have somebody light it, and then they just raise it up. So they're making the gravity bong, and then you just get inside of it with it sealed around the water. And so I got to try that, but I already emptied the pool for the year.
Yeah, it's getting a little.
We were gone way too much over the summer, so we kept trying to keep up with it, but it kept getting nasty. And finally, we're not even here using it, I'm done.
Yeah.
And so I emptied it out.
Then it got cooler for a minute, and then all of a sudden,
right? Yeah, we dropped down to like 50 degrees, and summer's over. And then a week and a half later, we're back to 100 degrees.
Started getting worried about my plants. I was like, oh man, it's getting kind of chilly at night. Like I'm gonna have to start bringing these in at night or something. I was afraid, if they frosted. So I was like, oh man. And then all of a sudden we get a heat wave again. And I'm like, oh crap. I was ready for fall. I was ready for hoodies in the morning and shorts in the afternoon.
Right.
Missouri weather, man,
It's constantly changing. It gets to a certain point of the year where you start wearing hoodies in the morning and then you're sweating by the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And, heater in the morning, AC in the evening.
Let's see. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything you need to?
I got in trouble this morning on Facebook. Yeah, I've got. So I posted a thing that I stay away from politics all the way, and all the way.
I noticed, and I appreciate that.
But there was an AI post, and I just wanted to make folks aware. I was like, hey guys, this is AI. Make sure you're watching that you're not basing your thoughts and opinions and such off of AI that's just clickbait. And I very clearly explained this in my post, and then I posted the 2 screenshots of this post that had come up on my For You page. Well, nobody read my damn thing that I posted about it. They just thought I was propagating this same AI nonsense. So I think I got some people riled up because I'm getting a lot of stuff reported now. I got 2 of them that actually gave me marks on my Facebook. And so I'm trying to get a hold of Meta because they don't actually go against the rules, but you have to talk to a real person to make that known.
At least Facebook will let you talk to a real person, unlike TikTok. Right. It's like it's all you don't
TikTok,
know what you don't know what
no one.
No, there's no one to talk to. You can email But
Yeah, and that does nothing. You get the same automated response every damn time.
I know a guy, Jake Barr, goes with Bar None. He's had so many accounts just shut down.
Well, to be
And
fair, I think that's a lot on him.
it is, and he doesn't care.
I watch his content. Right,
Yeah.
he's out there just making people angry for fun.
Oh, he is. And Ronan's actually good friends with him. He's got a GFC tattoo on his arm.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And but it was funny. I was talking to him the other day, and he goes, "Yeah, so one of Jake's earlier accounts, all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, your suspension's over. Here's your account back." He's like, "I don't even remember the login for that, but okay,
Right.
thanks." Like,
I've never had an account deleted yet, but
yeah,
getting close.
I got in trouble early on in TikTok because I kept smoking on my live. Just openly just smoking right on my live. And my moderators were like, Steve, knock it off. Knock it off. You're going to get in trouble. And I was like, I'll get a 24-hour ban at most. It's fine. Whatever. And I just kept doing it. 3 days in a row. The third day, somebody reported me and they were like, you're getting a 7-day ban. And I was like, ouch.
Yep. Well, so people ask me all the time, like, why don't you use the actual words? I see people saying it all the time, or I see people smoking it all the time. There's a difference in when you've got more viewership. So, like, when I go live, I can't even go like this and have anything. If any smoke is seen on the screen, it's like instant that it gets taken down. And so, the same thing with videos. It used to be my cooking videos. I could blow some smoke in front of the camera, walk in front of them, be like, burn something. I can't have smoke at all on TikTok. Like hotbox videos, they don't work over there. I get in trouble pretty much instant. The last one I put up stayed up for about 3 minutes before I got a violation of my account.
I think I saw your rocket ship one.
Yeah, so that one, the only reason that worked out, it was reposted. I reposted it. It was a year ago today video. And because it had already gotten cleared, which I've had it happen before where I had done a year ago video, posted it, and then got in trouble. And I was able to get it put right back up because I said, look, guys, this is a year old. You told me to put it out. I put it out. You can't get on to me for that. And so I feel more comfortable with those, but new ones that I put out don't work.
No, you just put those over on like Facebook and YouTube. Okay.
Which working on the YouTube, that's a slow grow over there. Facebook, I was able to jumpstart real quick because of TikTok. Same thing with Instagram. But YouTube, I'm having a hard time breaking 60,000. Which part of it's because I always forget to post on YouTube, but it's definitely a slower grow. I just want that play button. That's the goal. No, nobody else is getting me anything else,
right?
Yeah, I just want the silver one. That's all.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be the Mr. Beast one. It just a play button.
Just so I can say I've got one.
Right.
Plus, my kiddos would think that was cool. My youngest, he'd probably be trying to take it to school with him.
Show and tell.
He's got a big old head on him. He was my first viral video. Just came home from work and he was waiting on me. I made a video and I don't know, probably like 16 or so million views with the video. And so ever since then, he's like, "You're famous because of me, Dad." Uh-huh.
I had to bribe my kid to do a video with me. It was the my partner, my dad, my whatever is going to show you this, and you better listen.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, hey, I need you to do this video with me. And she goes, why do I have to do it? And I was like, because your sister is 3 hours away. I need you to do this. But why can't your girlfriend do it? I was like, because she won't do it. She said, oh, well, why can't Uncle Justin do it? My best friend. And I was like, because he doesn't like being on camera. I was like, just do the damn video.
I need to do that trend, have wifey do it, and I'll show off my cookbooks. I haven't done that trend yet.
Yeah. Just be like, hey, my hubby's going to show you his cookbook and you better listen. It's like, something like that. And I was like, it's a popular trend right now. I need to get on this. Like, dang.
Right.
It's like, I'm trying to grow and I need to get better about actually getting up and making videos. I work nights, so it's like, I just want to sleep all day.
Right. It's hard when you're still doing the, like I said, it was a good 3-4 years of doing the full-time construction. And so to make myself do the 2 to 3 videos a day, it was a lot of extra nonsense while I was also working.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so my goal right now, my ultimate goal is to be on radio. And
That'd be cool.
I said that this year, the whole reason I got a evening shift job was so that I could get up, make videos in the morning, go to work in the evening, and I would have time during the day. I have a set schedule. I work for a school district, so I have a set schedule. I have every weekend off. I can schedule podcast interviews and not be like stressing because the job I had before this was a trash company job. I never knew what time I was going to get home, and then
Right.
there was like a whole week that we were on night shift because our truck broke down, so we had to use somebody else's truck. Well, we had to wait for them to get done using their truck and empty it, and then we could use it. So there was no schedule to it. It was
Right.
like you get up and go to work, and you get home when you get home. Oh shoot, there was one night I worked 16 hours straight.
Ouch.
Yeah, we went into work around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and we pulled back into the yard at 6 a.m. when everybody else was heading out for the day. I don't even remember the drive back.
Right. I've done 12 and 14, but those wear you out.
I was a thrower on the back of the truck. So when we got done, I got in the cab and I zonked out. I just remember my boss opening the truck door, looking at me, going, "You look like shit."
I feel like it too.
I was like, "Don't make me go back to work." So he's like, "All right, we're gonna get you in the office, get you out of the truck." I don't have a vehicle, so he's like, "I'll have somebody run you home." So I get home and I zonk out. I wake up a few hours later and I got a text message from the boss going, "Hey, don't worry about your route today. We got it covered for you." And I was like, I didn't plan on coming back anyways. I don't think
Glad
I'd be
you figured
alive
that out
enough.
for me.
So, but all right. It has been great talking to you.
It's been a blast, bud.
So give me just a second here. All right, everybody, check out Stoner Gump on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, especially the YouTube. He needs to grow that. Get that.
Trying to get a button.
All righty.